Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Essays and Espresso podcast. It's been a minute. It's been a while. Last time we talked about Full Metal Alchemist 2003. That was Acer's recommendation.
It's true.
We might as well call this the fucking Weeb cast because we're back with another anime.
I feel like
the Essays and Weebs cast.
To be fair, it's always
I feel like Fate Zero is significantly more weeby than Full Metal Alchemist.
That's kind of true as well.
But
before that, we did Elfenlied, so...
Before that, we did Elfenlied. This really is a Weeb cast.
That is true. That is true. But that was also your suggestion.
I actually disagree. I don't think Fate Zero is more weeby than Full Metal Alchemist.
What?
But, yeah, I don't agree with that.
I feel like the average person can watch Full Metal Alchemist. I feel like the average person would have like an aneurysm watching Fate Zero.
Whoa, I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
I'm on Acer's side on this, honestly. You can
Really?
wear your weebiness, openly. It's okay.
I don't think Fate Zero... If I'm thinking about like super weeby shows, Fate Zero is not like up there.
I'm not saying it's like super weeby. I'm saying compared to Full Metal Alchemist, I think it's weebier.
I don't think it is. I think Full Metal Alchemist is pretty weeby as it is. I think its popularity is skewing your perception.
Well, no, the fact that it is popular outside of anime circles is what makes it less weeby. Because like it has general appeal too, and that sort of masks the weep. Did you ever watch Predator? It's like cloaking yourself in mud.
The original Predator, yeah, with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
I've seen that movie.
What a weird comparison.
Great movie. Anyways, I know that Bouken had already seen the show, and he already expressed that he liked it.
I had also seen some of the show.
You had seen like the first like few episodes.
I had. I feel like I was very vindicated on everything I talked about. You guys gave me shit when I was talking about the show. It's like, nope, everything I said.
Snakes.
What are you talking about?
Well, it wasn't snakes, but it was a pit.
It was a pit, yeah, but it wasn't snakes.
It wasn't snakes.
It wasn't snakes. It was bugs.
I just saw like writhing animation. I must have looked away. I must have seen it at like a zoom shot, zoomed out, and then when it zoomed in, I must have looked away because I was too afraid. Or I was playing a video game.
You were playing Hollow Knight.
You're playing Hollow Knight. Ironically, a game filled with bugs as well.
Yeah, I couldn't stand to look at the bugs, so I had to look at the bugs.
So I was gonna ask, Bouken, do you feel that your opinion on the show has changed much?
I wouldn't say much. I still think it's a great show. I will say I have some complaints that I noticed now more. One major one, a couple minor ones, I guess. And
okay.
I think overall, it didn't have the same impact on me. Usually when I come back to shows I really like, I like them even more after. And this I'm just kind of, I don't know. I was waiting for the emotions to hit like it did last time, and it didn't really come. And I still like it a lot. I think it's a great show, but yeah, didn't hit me as hard.
That's interesting, because this is my 5th time watching the show, and despite it being the 5th time, I was still like, this show's a fucking banger.
It is a really good show. I'm not gonna deny it,
Sure. So Acer, just generally, did you like the show?
Okay, so this is a 2-season show. It like splits up around episode 12 or 13.
Yeah.
I liked the 2nd season a lot more than the first one. But overall, yeah, I did like it.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. I've heard that sentiment a lot and I've never understood it.
Really?
I really don't understand why people keep saying that season, like the second half is so much better than the first half. So I guess like, why do you feel that way?
I feel like the first half... Okay, so this is based on a visual novel?
No.
Oh! See, I thought it was. And...
It's not.
I thought it was based on a visual novel based on the direction of the sequences. Because so much of it is just like characters, and it's really talky, and there's like sad, somber music in the background. And I was like, did they just adapt this straight from a visual novel?
No, they adapted it straight from a light novel series. So
okay.
They were based on books.
Okay. See,
like actual books.
I think the first half, the first season, I think it was more yappy. I think it was kind of more melodramatic. And I really hated that serial killer guy, Uryu something?
Ryunosuke.
Yeah. I hated that guy. I thought he was just the worst. I think it's kind of like when somebody's trying to write the Joker and trying to make him like edgy, but I felt no substance behind him, and they just off him right away. Like the second season doesn't have that. It just has the interesting character dynamics. None of this. Also, like the first season is really like characters explaining their motivations, which I feel like they don't do as much in the second part.
I feel like it's setup. Just. I mean, yeah, the first season is a lot of setup.
I totally. But it is still like when you're comparing it. It is still something that the second season has going for it, is that the first season had to do all the setup.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't experience this as seasons. I mean, I noticed obviously the opening changing, but to me, this is just an ongoing story from start to finish.
Right. So the distinction is just a little strange because it's more like core 1 and core 2, but the reason why they set up as seasons because they took like a long break. Like a particularly long break in between, the first 12 episodes and, the first 13 episodes and the second half. That's really it.
But yeah, like overall, like the seasons, they flow really well together. I just felt like there was kind of a, it kind of kicked, its ass got into gear once season 2 started. Not as many. We're gonna all meet up. We're gonna all meet in a fight, and then we're gonna stop fighting and have a talk, and then we're gonna meet up and talk more. It's like stop talking.
That was one of the best episodes. I love the talking bits.
I love the talking bits too. I love the dialogue. I think.
Yeah.
What are you oohing over?
I didn't love the talking. I felt like it was a lot of characters. I felt like the characters were very invested in each other's philosophies and motivations. But it also, to me, it just felt like characters explaining their motivations.
I didn't get that.
Honestly. They do that, yes, but then it affects other characters, like especially Saber,
Yeah, I guess.
She goes head on in a discussion with Ryder and Archer. And she kind of goes away from it like, man, do I suck?
Yeah.
Did I fuck everything up when I lived in the real world? Damn.
I love it.
Until the very end.
Like when she was talking with Ryder, and then he like tilted her. Like for the rest of the show, she was like off kilter after that one conversation. Yeah. Like it did not take much to crack her.
so I guess real quick before we get into this, for anybody who's listening,
it's not so much that the talk. I'm not saying the dialogue's bad or like the talking is bad. I just felt like it was real. Like it was every episode. It felt like they were gonna fight. It was gonna be like a conclusion to this, and then it's just like, and now we're gonna stop fighting, and we're gonna sit down and respectfully talk to each other. And I feel like season 2 was a lot more. No, you know what? I'm just gonna start killing people. I'm just gonna like actually push this plot forwards a bit.
Yeah, I can see that. Season 2 is when when people know each other, and then they are just like, okay, we have this war to fight.
First off, yeah, like season 2 resolves more things and whatever. I just feel like season 1 still did a great job setting things up, so I still enjoyed it a lot. Anyways, I was going to explain real quick, because if you just start listening to this, and you've never heard of Fate Zero, you're like, what the fuck is this show even about? So just to give like a very quick synopsis, right? Fate Zero, based on the light novels, is a prequel to the Fate Stay Night visual novel, which also got a bunch of different anime adaptations. We'll talk about that later. And basically the premise of Fate Zero is it takes place like, I want to say like 15 years, 10 years, something like that. It takes like over a decade before Fate Stay Night. And it is about something called the Holy Grail War, which is not the actual Holy Grail. I remember someone that I knew back in the day was like, is this about the actual like Christian Holy Grail? And I was like, no.
That would be funny.
I was like, no, that's not it. The Holy Grail War is like a battle royale between 7 mages who summon 7 servants. These servants are mythical or like historical figures, right? So historical, such as Alexander the Great, mythical, such as Gilgamesh. They're all fighting each other because the idea is that once the fighting is over and all the combatants have been killed or have retired in some way, the Holy Grail itself will manifest, and it is a omnipotent wish granting device. So it will allow whoever wins to it will grant them whatever wish they desire, supposedly. Well, that's something else we'll get into later. But that's like the long and short of it. And each of the servants are also slotted into different classes. And typically, you'll only know them by their class designation. So you have Saber, Archer, Lancer, Rider, Caster, Berserker, and Assassin. I'd say one of the cool things about the show is finding out like who these different servants are. And it is cool for the characters themselves as well, because these reveals, for one, knowing who the enemy is gives you an advantage. If you know who it is, then you know what their weaknesses are, you know what they're capable of. But also just as like a viewing experience, it is fun to be like, oh, this is Alexander the Great and he's going up against like Gilgamesh. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This made me actually, just as a short note, this made me look up actual historical characters like Bluebeard, because I had never heard of that character before. I guess I watched it before. I didn't bother checking. Or like the character that Lancer is based on. I never heard about that guy ever.
You didn't play The Wolf Among Us? I think Bluebeard featured in that.
Is he? I did play that.
I think
is
they
it
mentioned
the same
it.
Bluebeard? Is it supposed to be Guy de Ray?
It might. I think that Bluebeard, I think, is like a Brothers Grimm character who's like a pirate or something.
Yeah. So Guy de Ray in Fade Zero, I think is supposed to be a different person. Funny thing about his character though is he mistakes Saber for Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because when Fate Stay Night first came out, right? Nobody knew who Saber's identity was in the beginning. So everyone assumed Saber's identity was Joan of Arc until the reveal that she's like a gender bent like King Arthur. So Guy de Ray mistaking Saber for Joan of Arc is actually kind of like a wink and a nod to that like period of time where the fans didn't know who she was.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of fun. I love his crazy goat eyes. I do have a question. Do we want to maybe talk a bit about the battle system now?
Hold on, I have one more question about the series in general. And Danny, you don't have to go into too much detail, but can you like contextualize where this show stands in the Fate mythos? Because I don't know anything about Fate, except that it is a thing that a lot of people like.
So Fate, it works on a sort of multiverse parallel like timeline thing. It's interesting and weird and confusing, but previously we had watched Kara no Kyokai. Technically speaking, Kara no Kyokai exists in the same universe as the Fates franchise.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
Me too.
So if you remember the redheaded chick who would like smoke cigarettes, she actually smokes the exact same brand of cigarette that Kiritsugu, the protagonist, does in Fate Zero.
I actually want to give myself some credit here because I noticed that Kotomine is using the same weapons as Seer in Melty Blood, and I know that's also connected. And then
yes.
I also noticed that at some point they talk about like the root of origin, and that sounded a lot like whatever the fuck the of radix or the helix, or there's so many different names in Kara no Kyokai. But I kind of traced it back to, is that the same fucking concept that they're trying to find out about?
It's the same concept, yes. Not only that, but Tsukihime and Melty Blood also deal with vampires. And if you remember in the flashback episode,
the Apostles.
Yeah, so those are the same types of vampires that you find in Tsukihime and Melty Blood.
Is this a franchise where there's like one creative guy who's like in charge of it, or is this like a media entity where they like Marvel, where they just like hire whoever to just write us some more Fate?
Okay, no, so it is primarily the brainchild of Kinoku Nasu.
Okay.
Now, it does get a little weird because there are some Fate spin-offs that he is much... So, like, with Fate Zero, he is a lot more hands-on.
Okay.
With other spin-offs, he's been more hands-off. So, like, for example, there was a spin-off, like, Fate Apocrypha. He had very little to do with that. There was like a Muso game, Fate Extella. He had very little to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think those Muso games are very kind of like just plug and play. They just import the character models. Like, I don't think you need like creatives on site for those.
Right. So Fate Zero's placement within the Brander Fate franchise is a little strange because it is marketed and it is supposed to be a prequel to Fate Stay Night. What makes that complicated is that Fate Stay Night is a visual novel with 3 distinct story routes. That go in completely different directions. So it's kind of a prequel to all of them and none of them at the same time.
Does it contradict them, or?
In some ways, it kind of does. So you asked me before, like, oh, is Fate Stay Night good? The same animation studio, Ufotable, animated a series called Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. And they kind of, sort of, tried to treat it as like a continuation of Fate Zero. Except it doesn't really fucking work because Unlimited Blade Works was not meant to be a follow-up to a prequel that didn't exist at the time. And so if you were to just be like, I'm a fan of Fate Zero, so I'm going to watch Unlimited Blade Works, it's going to be kind of unsatisfying because Saber's character is not super important in that route. Neither is Kotomine's character. So 2 really important characters in Fate Zero are going to feel like almost wasted in Unlimited Blade Works by comparison. You're going to be like, what the fuck happened to these characters? It gets really weird and confusing.
I was just confused because this is called Fate Zero, so I figured it's like a prequel to everything. But then at the same time, this takes place like sort of in contemporary. I don't know when it came out, but it has, you know, I think they have phones, they have game consoles, so it's like at least early 2000s.
It takes place in the 90s. It takes place in the 90s.
Really?
Yes. If you remember, Bill Clinton was president.
Oh,
like,
true,
Ryder has a fucking... Yeah, Ryder has a fucking hilarious scene where he's like, we're facing many great enemies, Waver, but I fear this man in particular will be my greatest foe. And it's fucking Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Okay, but then, I don't know. Maybe I just got a different, wrong impression.
Yeah, I felt it was like 2010s because when he shows him, he bought that strategy game. I was like, is that a DS game? Like just based on the cartridge.
I got that vibe from it for sure.
No, that was a Sega Saturn.
Oh, that's a Sega Saturn. Oh,
seriously.
See, we didn't have that in Iceland, so I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, I could tell based on the box art because Sega Saturn games always have that like gold strip on the left.
Huh. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I have questions.
Did that answer your question? Real quick, did that answer your question, Bouken?
Yeah, I think it did.
Okay, I'm sorry. Acer, go ahead. What was your question?
Across the entire Fate Zero, it's only these classes. He hasn't done like different classes, and sometimes you get different characters.
So it's the same classes,
okay,
but different people can be summoned.
Okay, so Saber is not always Arthur.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Now Saber happens to be summoned again in Fate Stay Night. Because at the end of the show, if you remember, Kiritsugu had Avalon inside of him, Saber's sheath.
Mm-hmm.
In order to save the little boy at the end, he put Avalon inside of him.
Oh.
Actually, no way. He didn't do it. He didn't do it to save him, but I think he did do it later on. Anyways, yeah. So that little boy that he saves at the end would become the main character of Fate Stay Night, and because he has Avalon inside of him, that's what allows him to summon Saber.
All right, but the other characters are not the same. Like, you don't get Alexander the Great again. You don't get Gilgamesh again.
Gilgamesh is in Fate Stay Night, but he's stuck around. He was reincarnated in like a weird way. So he's no longer like a servant. So a different archer gets summoned in Fate Stay Night.
Who is it?
I'm not telling you.
What?
Wow.
It's actually a big spoiler.
Oh, okay. In case anybody is gonna watch it, it's a big old spoiler.
Right. Like if I were to tell you right now, like I would have to like literally explain the plot of Unlimited Blade Works to you.
It would probably mean nothing to Acer.
It probably means nothing to me.
Something to somebody.
What if it's like Hitler or something crazy?
No. It's not.
Hitler.
I promise you it's not.
Hitler, we have to get the Holy Grail. Okay.
Nothing that crazy, I promise you.
Then you just doesn't want to go on the record for like, yeah, it's Stalin actually. And then have to explain himself.
All right. Is there any other questions?
Can you have so like Lancelot? Berserker he's a Berserker class. He's distinct from the Saber class. They're not the same class.
Yes.
Okay, it's always different classes too.
It's always the 7 classes. They're always the same 7 classes, but you can't summon 2 sabers.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Okay. I'm satisfied then. No, wait, actually. Could Arthur be summoned again in a different class and have different traits?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Now I'm satisfied.
So, right. So Saber, King Arthur, Artoria, she has a writing level B or something. So technically she could be summoned as writer, even though that wouldn't be ideal, right? Like that's not what she's like good at. But it is still technically possible. Same thing with Lancer. Lancer does have magic abilities, so he could be summoned. Actually, Diarmid, I think the Legend of Diarmid also had him dual wielding swords, so he could have been summoned as Saber as well. So yeah.
Okay, this gets more confusing as you go on.
Why is it more confusing?
Saber was dual wielding swords.
I didn't say.
Also, she was riding a motorcycle.
I didn't say she was dual wielding swords.
No, Lancelot.
But you just said he can come back as a Saber because he was dual wielding swords.
Diarmid, his legend.
Yeah.
His legend had him dual wielding swords.
Yeah. And then you said, and that's why he can come back as Saber.
Yeah. So why is that a problem?
Does it mean because he was using a sword?
Because that was part of his legend, yeah.
Yeah, okay, sure. I thought the emphasis was on the dual wielding.
No.
But Saber didn't.
The dual wielding is inconsequential.
Okay.
Like that, he was dual wielding simply because that was Diarmid's thing in his legend. That's specific to him.
But with spears.
Yeah, that's specific. So, like in Fate Stay Night, for example, Lancer only uses 1 lance, right? Because that's
okay. If you say so.
Yeah, because that guy, I'll just say who it is. It's Cuchulainn. That's not like a huge. That's not a huge spoiler. Like Cuchulainn used 1 spear. He used 1 lance, right? He didn't dual wield them, so that's why he's not in Fate Stay Night. Because it's a different guy. Does that make sense?
All right. Does he look the same though?
Okay, let's get into the battle system because this is one of
they
my
look
problems.
different.
Okay, no, but see,
questions?
I have seen
they look different.
I have seen images of Saber where it's Nero, but looks exactly the same. Is this fake?
That's not fake.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's from one of the weird. That's one of the weird spin-offs. That's Fate Extra. I've never even really played it. That's one of the weird ones where like Nasu you could do what you want, I guess.
Okay. It's like when Oda allowed whoever to just make One Piece movies and they were like, what if there's a guy who has like a mushroom for a head? And it's like, yeah, whatever. I'll take the bag.
So just to be clear on who exactly wrote Fate Zero specifically. So Kinoku Nasu hired Gen Urobuchi to write Fate Zero. That being said, as was stated by Gen Urobuchi himself in an interview, when he drafted his proposal for what Fate Zero was going to be, he said that Nasu accepted it because 90% of it was Nasu's own ideas.
Who's okay? That's his editor?
No, Urobuchi is the guy who like physically wrote Fate Zero.
Okay.
Right? Nasu wrote the original Fate Stay Night. He's like in charge of like, you know, most of the Fate stuff. So just to make it super simple, because like people are always confused about like who actually wrote Fate Zero. Like I think it's fair to say that they wrote it together, right? Like it's Nasu's ideas. Urobuchi like was the one that put pen to paper, and then it was the light novels were then adapted by Ufotable, which were, you know, handled by their own team. So yeah.
All right then.
Okay. Is there any other questions?
I want to talk about the class system and the battle system. Because honestly, it was kind of bothering me. Because it sounds really, I'm going to be honest, it sounds a bit stupid. And it sounds like it's would be impossible to handle throughout multiple storylines.
Why?
Because they kind of brought it up in the beginning of the show. And then they stopped bringing it up. And I was always annoyed when they brought it up, because this was like, this guy got like brought in as this class, and that means he has the independent action skill, which like I don't even know what that means. And then they talk about, and this guy can do this, and this guy has so much mana, and it's like, I don't care. Like, just I want to see the characters be themselves. I don't care what they were brought in as. I don't care what they were summoned as. I feel like when you bring these game elements into it, it doesn't improve anything for the story itself and the writing.
I don't fully agree. I can sympathize with, like, it does sound a little gamey sometimes where they're like, oh, Saber has a writing class of B, or like, sure, I can understand, like, yo, what does independent action mean?
Yeah.
So what that means is, and it's a skill that's inherent to the archer class. It means that they can exist without being connected to their master for a prolonged period of time. Most servants can't really survive very long without getting constant magic mana from their master. But the archer class is able to sustain their mana for a much longer period of time compared to other classes. That's what the independence skill grants them.
I see. They definitely didn't explain that properly then.
That's why you see Gilgamesh hanging out with Kotomine.
In his undies?
Yeah, in his underpants.
Yes. In his pajamas.
And his hairstyle.
Yeah.
So there is kind of a reason for it, right? Because like normally servants can't be like too far away from their master, but in Gilgamesh's case, he could separate from Tokiomi and hang out with Kotomine, and that's what allowed like them to do their like scheming, in the background.
Okay.
They did bring that back into like character motivations.
Okay, sure.
I wish I would have wanted either do much more of that or cut it out completely. If you're like, I don't know, it doesn't bother me that much, but I can see how you can go into either.
I mean, it stopped bothering me because they eventually stopped doing it.
Yeah.
It's the thing with it is a explicit carryover from the visual novel, because that is actually one of the things I liked about the visual novel and I thought was cool was as you play through it, you gain more information and you can stop reading the main story or whatever it is you're doing, and you can open up a separate menu. And in the menu, it just has details about all the servants that you've seen so far, and it has like breakdowns of all of their abilities, their weapons, their history, what their abilities do. I think it's one of the things that makes the visual novel like really cool to read. It's like if you want to take a break from the main story, you could just like kind of dive into all this like extra detail. Yeah, trying to like adapt that into an anime is kind of fucking weird. I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah. And it also led to, I feel like a lot of power in differences, like in terms of power level of what these characters can do. It felt really unbalanced, which I guess to a degree it's supposed to, but that always makes me like, because they started introducing these gamey rules, made me then wonder like, why is it like, why is Assassin so fucking weak, And why does Lancer have 2 spears and Saber can basically like nuke an entire forest if she wants to?
Well, what's wrong with Lancer having 2 spears?
It's just not on the same power level.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? Lancer is like, he's a cool character. He's cool in fighting, but Saber raises her sword and she can like the level of damage she can wreak on something is insane. And same with Gilgamesh.
Yeah, but Bouken, he has 2 spears.
Oh my god, he has 2 spears. He gets a lucky hit on Saber, and then she can't use her shit. So, I don't know.
I mean, well, it's not meant to be fair. So, like the power levels is like influenced by a couple of different things. It's influenced by who summoned them, right? Like if you have like if Ryunosuke, for example, was like a legit mage, then Bluebeard would have been way more powerful. Like,
he was already powerful, and Ryunosuke didn't even know what was going on.
Right, that's my point. Like, that was just because Gita Ray was inherently just already a powerful servant. But, like, if Tokiomi, for example, had summoned Gita Ray, he would have been able to unleash, like, even more hell. Because Tokiomi's like a proper mage and knows what he's doing. So like it's influenced by who the master is. It's also influenced by their legend, right? Like, who it is. So like obviously King Arthur is OP as fuck because King Arthur in his own legend was OP. And on top of that, the more famous the legend is, that also influences how powerful they are. So because Gilgamesh is literally the first hero of history, like one of the oldest stories of all time, that's why Gilgamesh is the most OP.
He's the most OP in the entire franchise then?
Pound for pound, he is basically like, yeah, the most powerful.
All right.
That's why, like, throughout the show, he's so laissez-faire about everything, because he is so fucking powerful. When he's like looking down on everyone, that's because he can back it up. Like, he barely needs to move. He's just like shooting weapons at everything.
He's got a fighting style like those games from China that have like Sekiro combat and they always have like these flashy lights that appear out of everywhere. He's got that sort of fighting style. Which
is ironic because like Gilgamesh himself in an actual fight, he's not very good.
Oh.
He's not like an actually great fighter.
Okay. Sure, yeah.
The only reason he's as powerful as he is because of the Gate of Babylon, right? Like, because he has like all the riches of the world, of history even, and it's all housed within his gate, and he's able to like just summon whatever the fuck he wants.
I'm just saying, if I was like Lancer or Assassin, and I was in that situation, I would go like, fuck, what am I doing here? I should not be here. Please send me back.
So it is kind of a running gag that like Lancer always gets like murked in like the most fucked up ways.
Which is sad because he's one of the coolest characters.
With the battle system, what I like about it, it's the same thing, Bouken, you and I once talked about this in One Piece with Blackbeard, where And you can see this in the main character with Arthur, Kiritsugu. It's like, look, I exist in this bullshit universe with bullshit magic sci-fi rule nonsense. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna study this system and I'm gonna figure out how to hack it. So while he has his legend fight the legend, he himself is just gonna be like, yeah, and I'm gonna kill the master myself. He's just like, feels like he's just cheating. Feels really cheating, but it's like, well, it's the system allows it.
Is he though? Is he though?
Well, like I said, it's like it feels dishonorable. It feels like you're cheating, but at the same time, it's like, no. I mean, there's the system is like he just outthought you. Like he actually studied the sort of rules a bit better than you did.
Yeah,
I would like to see. I would have liked to see because you have a Waver who's like he's kind of like a loser, and he's got like one of the best characters. I'd have liked to see it.
I love him.
I would have much preferred to see like the inverse dynamic, where you have like a really, really smart master and just a shit legend. And like, I need to make this work somehow.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because Kiritsugu even kind of said that. He was like, I kind of wish that I got Assassin instead. I don't want Saber.
But Assassin sucks. Assassin can't do anything. I don't know if Assassin would be... See, and then I would wonder, how would Assassin be different if Kiritsugu summoned them?
So, likely would have summoned a completely different person, for one. And for two, I imagine Kiritsugu's utilization would have been far better. Because, like when Kotomine summoned Assassin, like... he was just acting as Tokiomi's lapdog the whole time, right? Like he wasn't meant to be in serious consideration. So Assassin was kind of like a throwaway servant in that regard. So I imagine if Kiritsugu had summoned Assassin instead, he probably would have done okay. Because he would have been working with a servant that matches his own skill set. So he would have had a better idea of like how to utilize them.
I will say, yeah, it's just a weird world to think about in terms of battling, because yeah, Ryunosuke, he just gets shot. He just gets fucking shot by a sniper rifle, and he doesn't even see from where. Like, you're so far outskilled in this by even the other human characters.
That's what I love about Kiritsugu, though. Like, because mages are so narrow-minded, right? Like, you could even think of them as like kind of conservative in that sense, where they're all about like being mages in like a very specific way. And Kiritsugu sees this, he understands their mentality and knows exactly how to counteract them, because he knows that they're not going to expect. So like that one episode, I fucking love it, where Kenneth is bragging about like, oh, so they're gonna attack me, huh? Well, the entire floor below me is filled with traps and ghosts and doors that go into different dimensions. Like, fuck them, they're not gonna touch me. And Kiritsugu's like, okay, blows up the whole building. It's like, fuck you, fills the whole building with explosives and blows it up. Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
And I mean, it does make, like, the fact that people can just get shot and some of them are just normal dudes, basically, makes also Waver's, the fact that Waver follows into every battle, even though he doesn't do anything, like, just the courage to do that. Makes him a lot more sympathetic, and that's what ends up making Ryder love him, you know?
Yeah, that's how he earns Ryder's respect, and he even says it to Kenneth, because Kenneth was supposed to initially summon Ryder, and Ryder's like, even if you summon me, I wouldn't listen to you, because you're skulking in the shadows like a coward. A real master would be by my side like Waver is. Like, oh, Ryder is the GOAT. I fucking love Ryder so much.
That was a very good scene.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah. Can I say, I don't know if you want to switch to the characters in general, but Ryder is just the best. Like,
he's so good.
I was so happy to just be in his presence again, honestly. I think this is easily like a top 10 anime characters of all time for me.
I agree. Like he is so much fun. he's just like, just him being on screen is fun.
Yeah.
But then he will like have these like really sincere moments. Like I really love this speech where he's talking to Waver and Waver's being pissy and he's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then Ryder just like,
He do be like that.
he do be like that. He goes into his backpack, grabs a map, and he's like, I want you to draw a line between you and me on this map. And Waver's like, I can't do that. He's like, it's impossible, right? He's like, that's because even though we the two of us, you know, you see each other and I'm so much taller than you, in the grand scheme of things, you and I are like dots. And that's what makes me so excited. This body of mine, the size of a dot, can conquer the world.
Yeah.
So fucking awesome.
It's like Ryder he's like unpredictable, but he's not random. And he's very intelligent for someone who just charges into everything. It's like, I don't know, it's just perfect. He's like really into his own philosophy, sort of, but his philosophy is basically I take what I want. But he turns it into something where, that's why I'm inspiring, you know? That's why everybody loved me and followed me. Because I did everything to the hundreds.
I embodied the will and the dreams of my followers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I laughed the hardest. I cried the hardest. Oh, you're so good.
And then his ultimate weapon. I mean, they throw around the term reality marble, which annoyed me again. But the fact that his ultimate weapon is like a reality, a different dimension in which his army still exists because their bond to him was so thorough that is a possibility. That's pretty amazing.
Okay, a reality marble is literally just like a physical manifestation of a person's mindscape.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I feel like
that's it. Ah, yeah.
Oh, that's it.
I have no more questions. Understood in full.
I got it. I got it just fine. I feel like this is sort of and it's not a problem because like the show is not this is not so people often complain whenever you have like a magic system or whatever in the universe. It's like, oh, you know, if this system existed, then why does this exist? And it's like, well, this exists because we're not focusing on that. We're focusing on the story we're telling.
Yeah.
But this, you know, it's kind of like, you know, screw Harry Potter. But it's kind of like in the Harry Potter universe where it's like the wizarding world is hiding from the human world. Wouldn't it be the other way around? And this is sort of like that, where the Holy Grail War, this feels really like insulated from reality. Like this is just happening in its own sort of periphery here. And you guys, you regular people, don't worry about this. Don't worry about this.
Yeah.
But from what I understood, that is what happens. That's the church's job, right? Is to sort of cover this up.
Yes.
And that's why it was a problem when Castor was summoning this giant thing in the water, like right in the fucking city, because they were scared that it would just have way too much like attention drawn to it.
The church and the Mages Association. I forget what the church's like explanation. I think the church just hates any. Yeah, so this is actually elaborated a bit in Tsukihime. The church hates unholy abominations. Period. So like, they're not as concerned about like keeping everything under wraps so much as they're just like they see things like vampires and they're like, we're gonna fucking kill all vampires because they're unholy abominations. They're an affront to God. While the Mages Association is like, magic is for us. Right? They're not for the Mundies. They're not for the Moogles, you know, like fuck them. Magic is our thing.
They're not for them.
So we want to keep it to ourselves. They not like us.
Normies get out.
Pretty much.
Me and my no mage chut life. Oh.
So yeah,
memes.
that is why like when Castor really started going nuts, that's why there was like a ceasefire and a truce between the servants and masters. They were like, okay, we need to focus on this thing because this is clearly the biggest problem right now. So we need to like just put our squabbles away for a minute.
Yeah. All right. One
Except
of
for Gilgamesh, because Gilgamesh does not care.
yeah, see,
Let's stay on the characters a bit more. I don't know what you were going to bring up, Aesir.
I was just going to say, like, we just over the course of this conversation, I've exhausted a lot. I've been erasing a lot of the notes I have in my laptop. I have a few more, but I'm sure they'll come up. Gilgamesh, okay. I think, was more fun than Ryder. I think Ryder, he was fun. I felt like he kind of got a bit, long in the tooth. I think he overstayed his welcome a little bit. But Gilgamesh, I think Gilgamesh was always fun. Because he's kind of like a dirtbag. He's kind of like a scumbag.
I see what kind of characters you like.
I love Gilgamesh.
Yeah, he's great.
To me, Gilgamesh is, and I challenge you to find someone else who is more. I think Gilgamesh is the most arrogant character in fiction.
Ooh. I
challenge you to find someone more arrogant than Gilgamesh.
I think Kaipa is maybe more egotistical. I don't know about arrogant.
Because Gilgamesh's whole idea is that he believes that all of the treasures of the world not only belong to him, they're already his. To the point where he thinks that the Holy Grail War is a farce because they're stealing from him.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
Like, he gets pissy when Berserker, destroys the street lamp that he was standing on. And he's like, I deserve to be in heaven. You force me to stand on the ground with a mutt like yourself amongst the common folk?
It's very, and yeah, as you said, he has the qualities to back it up, which makes it a lot of fun.
And that's the thing, right? Like, that's what makes him so much fun. Like, he's not just arrogant just for the sake of it. Like, he's the oldest the oldest legend in history, right? Like, he's one of the very first human written stories ever. So that also backs up his arrogance in kind of like a meta way.
Did you guys watch in English or Japanese?
This time I saw it in Japanese. I have seen the dub before, and I thought the dub was pretty solid.
I watched the dub.
Okay. I found it interesting, especially for Gilgamesh, but also some other characters. I mean, I don't understand a lot of Japanese, really barely anything. But I feel like listening to Gilgamesh specifically, I can hear that he uses not common Japanese. The words he uses is so much shit that I've never heard in any other anime. And then he uses zashu when he calls people mongrel. And
I love that.
Zashu. It sounded more ancient in terms of his language use. I might be wrong on that because really I don't speak Japanese. I just got that impression and that made me love him more.
You're probably onto something. I think you're probably right because he is out of all of them, he is the most ancient.
Yeah.
So it probably does make sense that he speaks an older Japanese. I love when he says zashu.
Yeah.
It's so good. Mongrel.
Hey, who's the least favorite character?
Oh, okay.
Ryunosuke.
I have one.
Okay.
This is my major complaint about the show. The one major complaint is that I think Karia fucking sucks.
Really?
I hate him.
Why?
Because
Why? What's wrong with Kaguya?
Because so many reasons. For one, he's incompetent.
Okay, that's not a good reason.
I think there's a very good reason. He's a dumbass. He gets manipulated extremely easily. He doesn't have any impact on the plot, except for the fact that Berserker kidnaps Iris. That's the only real thing that he accomplishes, or accomplishes in quotation marks. And I don't care about his motivation because I don't know who Sakura is. So I don't feel any sympathy for him.
Okay, so Sakura is a more important character in Fate Stay Night, so
you're wrong,
I get
You're wrong. She's more important.
I'm right. That means I'm fucking right.
That's not what I was going to say.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I guess for me as a fan, I didn't see it that way, but coming from someone who's only seen Fate Zero, I can see why you would be like, I don't care about Sakura. It's like, well, yeah, you don't really have a reason to, so I can't really argue with that.
Yeah. But then also the other things, right? It's like he goes into this contract with his father and gets these weird bug powers. And then we see him use it one time against Tokiyomi, and he gets his fucking ass handed to him. And and then he comes back, talks to Kotomine, and plays the fucking fool, and then he dies.
To be fair, even Zoken, the guy who put the bugs in him, he was like, honestly, I don't even care about winning. Just seeing him suffer is enough for me.
Yeah, like, why is he in the story? Because we need someone to summon Berserker?
So, no, he's in the story also because he helps Kotomine understand his true nature. It was specifically because Kotomine took interest in him that Kotomine started to realize like what it is he finds joy in, because Kotomine's whole character is about
self-discovery.
Yes, it's about self-discovery, but it's also about nature versus nurture, right? Because Kotomine's character was brought up as a priest, so he was nurtured to be a good person, but his nature is to take pleasure in other people's suffering. So that aspect of his character is something that gets elaborated more on in the visual novel, because while Kotomine's character is supposed to be a foil to Kiritsugu and Fate Zero, more so in respect to their motivations, right? Like Kiritsugu is like the ultimate like altruist in that he's like extremely selfless. He's willing to do everything that he can for world peace, as opposed to the polar opposite of Kotomine, where he's willing to do what it takes just to like understand himself, as opposed to how he's a foil to the protagonist in Fate Stay Night, where it becomes an argument between, again, like nature versus nurture. Because I'm not going to get super deep into it, but like the point of the protagonist in Fate Stay Night is that like his nature also conflicts with his nurture. So that's how he's a foil to Kotomine. So like there's like a whole thing about it.
Sure. But yeah, now you're talking about Kotomine, who I agree is a great character. But again, Karya is just like at the best, he's a tool for somebody else's.
Sure. He's I do agree that he's probably one of the weaker characters. And the best thing about him is that he makes Kotomine's character better. So sure.
I feel like
his servant's also really cool.
His servant is cool, sure.
Yeah, see, like with Karya and with Berserker, I think those are really, really interesting. Like, okay, you're gonna derive your mana from this weird bug magic bullshit that everybody looks down on, and also you're gonna like eat the purity and innocence of this young girl that we've been torturing for a year, and also your summon is like a shit crazy guy. Like, I think that's interesting. And I could very.
Well, you were also saying though, like you wanted a shit master with a powerful servant.
Yeah,
and that's basically what we got here. Except this servant, because he's the Berserker class, it automatically gives him like no control over him.
Yeah, and so he kind of has to like get his ass into gear and do it all himself. But like, I can imagine a different version of this story, an alternate universe, if you will, where this is the main, like I can see this as the protagonist of his own story. I just feel like he was kind of poorly integrated into this one. Or like, he didn't do as much for me.
I agree with that. He's like, he would be interesting as like the protagonist of a shonen that really doesn't, like is extremely incompetent and has to learn. But we are not focusing on his character. He just stays incompetent.
And this is not a shonen. This is a seinen.
Doesn't matter.
I'm just saying, this is definitely not a shonen.
Okay, take the sentence I just said, replace shonen with seinen, and then you have the same fucking argument again.
Why does one is not the other? Which is the difference?
Shonen is for young boys, seinen are for adult men.
Okay. I feel like a young boy could watch this.
Like Berserk is a seinen.
I don't know if a young boy should watch a show where
I don't think a young boy should
girl
watch
gets
this.
Violated by bugs.
It's sure.
Or like in episode 1 or 2 where fucking like Bluebeard literally like has a child ripped apart with tentacles.
Yeah.
I've
torn apart limb from limb.
Yeah, I feel like you can watch that. Like when I'm saying young boy,
blood-curdling screams of a fucking like 6-year-old.
Yeah, I'm saying like a 12-year-old could watch this.
I don't know about that.
I would have watched it. Maybe I'm just built different. 12-year-old me built
I think
different.
A young boy would probably be very bored by all the talky bits.
You know
We're
what?
really gonna fight again.
There's a sequence. This is the very first note I wrote down for my entire watch through, and I'm not going to get a better chance to bring it up. And, I was kind of sour at the beginning, and then I was like, a few episodes in, I was like, no, you know what? I'm vibing with this. So this is a negative note. So when Lancer is fighting Saber, Lancer's master was like, stop talking and get to work. And he did for a bit, but then he proceeded to talk some more.
But it's, wow. They have a good... Saber and Lancer have a cool chemistry.
Yeah. It's just like the note I took. It's like, stop talking. Like, even the show is telling you to stop talking.
But... yeah,
like
I don't know. I don't agree with that.
It was an early note I took. I'm not gonna defend it. It's just like wanted to bring it up.
But speaking of like the chemistry between Saber and Lancer, I fucking love their chivalry. I love the fact that they had so much fun fighting each other, and that they felt that there was so much nobility in it, to the point where Saber, when she has her final battle with Lancer, she intentionally only fights him with her right hand, and he points out like, "Hey, your strikes are weak," and she said, "Because it would shame me." Right? This, if I don't fight you the way that we left off, it would shame me. Like that would dishonor my blade. Like I really love that the way that they justify their chivalry to each other. And then Kiritsugu is like, what a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. that is why I like Lancer so much. It's like he's also a side character. He's kind of not important for the main plot, but they go like he has an interesting clash in his old ideals with a new world, basically. And that's why he has interesting chemistry with Saber, but then he fights against people like Kuritsugu, who forces a guy in a wheelchair to make him commit suicide, and then shoots him in the head. Yep. So, what are you gonna do against that?
Dude, that's why Kiritsugu is so good.
That was a big turnaround moment, because I didn't really like Kiritsugu's character originally. I was like, oh, is this guy just like a bland sort of wet cloth? Oh, I'm a goody two shoes. I just want to be good for the sake of being good. It was that moment where I was like, no, okay, they're cooking. Something's happening here, gang.
So fucked up, man.
No, Kiritsugu is like, he wants world peace at any cost. He is willing to kill who needs to be killed in order to create a better tomorrow. And I think what's cool about the show is that it also deconstructs that, right? Like he's deconstructing Saber's philosophy. He's like, you think there's nobility in slaughter, you fucking psycho? Like he sees past that, and he's like, no, I know what I'm doing is fucked up and wrong, but like I'm doing it because I feel that I'm fighting for something like bigger than I am. I'm willing to stain my blood, stain my hands with blood if it means that I can, create a better future. Only for that philosophy by the end of the show to also get like completely shat on.
Let's not go there. I have a lot of questions.
Sure.
That we have to keep that on the end.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think, characters are great, honestly. Aside from a couple. There's one last character I want to complain about, which is basically one episode, and that is episode 10, where we are focusing on Rin, who I understand that she's another character from another show, but it felt like complete fan service to me, because
It is.
it's a
No, it
complete
is.
waste of time.
Most people tend to agree that that's like one of, if not like the weakest episode. And yeah, I mean, I can't really argue with that. The only value it really has is if you're a fan of Fate Stay Night and you're already a fan of Rin's character and you know how she is when she's grown up.
Yeah.
See, so. But like, if you don't know who she is, you're just like, why the fuck is what is this random episode? Yeah, it doesn't really add much to like the plot. It's just kind of there.
It adds nothing, except that she frees the children.
Children.
Which is cute. I guess it's fine. I don't know. It's whatever.
So something that's happened in modern anime is that, and you can see a lot of, I will say, idiots. On social media, they'll post like screenshots from this anime or that anime, and they're like, "Oh my god, look at the animation!" And it's just like insane, incomprehensible blobs of flashing light, and they're like, "Oh, look at the aura," and it just looks like shit. It's like, I don't know, Bogan, if you've been watching the later seasons of One Piece, the combat looks like dog shit. It looks like ass.
Asa, I am one of the people who keeps linking those as good examples.
So, no,
kind of
Bogan.
barking up the wrong tree here.
Bogan.
But I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I just love it. What can I say? I fucking love it. It's so funny.
Oof. See, I hate that. Also, my migraines got so bad this summer. I think next year I'm gonna have to get those glasses to stabilize my eyes. This is my last winter. This winter is my reprieve, and next summer I'm just gonna be wiped out. And you guys keep asking me to watch these animes, and I don't know how many more I have in me. But I was gonna say, I think the combat, generally speaking, is really clean in this.
I will say, if you are going into the show and all you're interested in is the combat, I think you're missing the point.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good reason to watch the show, even though I do think it does have really cool fight scenes in it that are really fun to watch. And as you say, they're clean, like they're well directed, they're well shot. Like it never feels like you suddenly don't know what's happening or you can't follow the action.
Motion reads very clean.
They do a really good job with that. But again, I just don't think like if all you care about is a bunch of fight scenes and that's it, don't watch this show. That's not the point.
I feel like the fight scenes rarely end in like a satisfying conclusion, though. Because you have like Saber fight Lancer, but then they stop. And then you have, I don't know, Berserker fight Gilgamesh, where they're like flying around and it's all crazy, but then they kind of stop.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then you have like Saber unleash her ultimate weapon on Caster, but that's kind of okay. I mean, I guess we just one-shot the guy now. It's a cool scene, but it's like, it's not a like shonen sort of, they use the battle system in a smart way to finish the fight sort of thing. That's why I would say it's not the focus.
I do think they use the, I don't know about calling it a battle system, but like I do think that there are interesting ways in which they resolve things. Like what was, like Acer brought up earlier with Kiritsugu, right? Like instead of just like straightforwardly having Saber and Lancer like duke it out, Kiritsugu's like, I'm gonna trick this guy into like signing a thing where I'm like, well, I can't kill you, and then has Maya fucking with a sniper rifle just shoot him.
That is not satisfying. That is fucking depressing.
No, that like he also like at the first fight, he's like, I'm just gonna shuffle up with my sniper rifle, and I'm just gonna wait until I can shoot the guy.
Yeah.
Like I think that's fun.
Well, I wasn't addressing the satisfying part. You were saying clever. I would say what Kiritsugu did was very clever.
Sure. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I was thinking more like, like a hunter or a demon slayer, where there's a lot of talk about strategy and abilities and all that stuff,
I think the use of magic in the show is also really interesting because like the characters don't always have like typical magic spells. Like, okay, Tokiomi shoots fireballs. He's probably like the most like typical mage, which makes sense for his character. But then you have Kaneth, who technically is supposed to be like a more orthodox mage, but like his ability is so strange. He uses mercury, and he uses the mercury to like slice things and to like shield himself.
Yeah.
And then you have
Big mercury ball.
yeah, you have Kiritsugu. Kiritsugu is able to like slow down time in interesting ways. Like he slows down his heart so that the mercury couldn't detect him. And you got Karia with his fucking weird bugs. Like I think the magic in this show is pretty unique. Like its presentation of the magic and how the characters use it, I feel like goes a step beyond what you would normally see in a show about magic.
Sure.
I think actually the most like, as I would say, conventional anime fight is like Kiritsugu versus Kotomine in the end.
At the very end,
Yeah.
kind of.
Which I kind of also like. I think that's my favorite fight also, honestly, because it actually leads to something and it's just very physical.
Yeah. It takes place in the Dark Knight Batcave.
Yeah, it kind of does. You're not wrong about that.
Hey, it's a good Batcave. What can we say?
Oh, yeah, it is. I think I don't know if that's my favorite fight, but I do agree that it is like one of the cooler fights in the show because it is just like two dudes just like shooting at each other, like trying to stab each other and throw swords and punch each other. Like it's
both really
it's cool
tired at the end, like really slugging it out. Like, oh, I got 6 blades left. This guy, and he's like, oh, I got like 12 bullets left. This guy,
this fucking guy.
Kitamene, his design reminded me of what was that brown-haired guy? We watched X. Bouken, I think you recommended that.
Yeah.
What was that brown-haired? Like the villain there. They kind of looked similar.
Fuma.
Yeah, they kind of looked similar.
I guess so.
He also
Fuma
looks
is
a
bit
bit
more
lanky.
Attractive, I would say.
Yeah, well, he's not a priest. I will say that. I will say that much.
Fuma has more life behind the eyes.
You know what? This series is definitely animated before the days of hype moments and aura. I can imagine if they did this today, they would really sort of linger on the hype moments and aura.
I want to talk about Kotomine's character arc throughout the show because I think it's really fascinating.
All right.
So like he's one of my favorite characters in general. Just like I think he's a top tier anime character for me. And one of the reasons why is I find his development throughout the show really interesting because normally when you think of character development, you're thinking of like, oh, this character used to be like a piece of shit or not, maybe not necessarily a piece of shit, but maybe they were just more immature and they grow through the show. They become more mature. They understand themselves better. They understand the world better. And Kotomine kind of does that, except he becomes way worse, which I think is really interesting. Like in the beginning of the show, people think that he's depressed because his wife passed away. And the reality is that he actually didn't feel anything when his wife passed away. And that's not something, this is a detail you would only know from the visual novel, but it actually bothered him that it didn't bother him. Yeah. Which I think is a really interesting detail. Like, he knew that her death didn't bother him. And he's like, what is wrong with me? And I think that's kind of what kickstarts. That's like the initial like feeling that he has going into Fate Zero. Kind of like establishes a bit like, his character development throughout the show. And I really love that it's Gilgamesh that's the one that like gets him to see what it is that sparks joy in his heart. Because Kotomine, because he was brought up as a priest, right? He's developed like this really twisted like worldview because he was brought up to believe that what he felt inside his heart was intrinsically wrong. So he extrapolated from that to assume that the very concept of deriving joy is sinful. Which is such a, like, even Gilgamesh himself pointed out, like, that is fucked up, my guy. Like, you've got everything totally wrong. And it is like Gilgamesh kind of like being the little devil on his shoulder, just being like, come on, man.
Come on,
don't you want to have
don't you want to kill some people?
like Saddam Hussein in South Park. Which one of these characters comes back? Like, I know Kiritsugu and Artoria come back. Saber.
No, Kiritsugu does not come back.
He doesn't come. I thought he was the father of the guy in Stay Night.
He is, except if you remember in the final episode, the Grail itself says, "I curse you, Kiritsugu." That was not flavor text. The Grail literally cursed Kiritsugu
to never appear again. I see.
He slowly deteriorated for 5 years. So like that final shot where he's talking to the little boy, that was his last moments.
Oh,
seriously? Okay.
Yes, seriously.
Okay. So wait, Gilgamesh and Artoria, do they both come back?
Yes.
Does anybody else come back? Without like getting into spoilers.
I've actually seen a picture of a grown-up Waver.
So Waver technically kinda comes back for like a small cameo at the very end. In like an epilogue. He also has his own spin-off, which I have not seen.
Okay.
I don't need the continuing adventures of this guy.
What do you mean? He's like the best character.
I do want to see it.
Waver!
Like, I don't.
Yeah?
Yeah, Waver's awesome.
I hate this guy.
The fuck?
Why?
And look, I get that he had an arc. I get that it's like, oh well, it's written in this way, and he's like, he has this character. He has Alexander, and they like bounce off of each other, and he teaches him what it means to be a man and be like, it's like a father. Like I get that there's writing there.
He has all this good stuff. He has all this good writing.
Yeah. Don't you be using that against me.
I mean, if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. That's okay,
he just kind of bounced off me.
It's just, so many scenes with him. Like towards the end when even Gilgamesh respects him because he's loyal.
Oh yeah, I did like that.
Your loyalty is splendid.
He calls Iskander his master.
Yeah, it's like don't you have to avenge him if you're his what did he say, like his follower or something? And he's like,
his
no
subject, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, no, because he ordered me to live. And it's like, oh, that's the correct way of following. It's like, oh yeah. I get it.
Can be happy to have such a splendid subject.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like,
How do you think we would do if we were in this Holy Grail war?
Oh no!
I don't know, man. I don't think I would do a good job.
I think I'd do pretty well. I'd probably win, I think.
I don't want to kill anyone.
Sometimes I'm imagining myself in like an anime show or something, and I just think about the viewers like, God, this guy sucks. Like, who fucking cares, man?
Yeah.
Don't you feel like
this guy? All he does is bitch about not wanting to kill people. Get over yourself, bro.
Don't you feel like we're old. We're old dogs at this point. We're not young. We're not teenagers anymore. Like we didn't this. Like if this happened to us, this would be like the adventure of our life. Don't you feel like you would have a character arc? If you got
but wait. Who would be our servants though? I think that would be a big part of it though.
I feel like it would have
who
to
would you want?
See, I don't think it's who do you want. I think it would have to be like, who would you have an interesting dynamic with?
Sure.
I don't know.
But also, who would you want though?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to think of who would I have a good dynamic with. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I can tell you who I want.
Because
Daniel, who would you bounce
I don't have any
off?
powers. I would like summon Gilgamesh and then like, oh God, please don't kill me, man. Please.
Gilgamesh, you can be the master, please.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem, right? Like, if you summon Gilgamesh, Gilgamesh won't listen to you.
Gilgamesh would fucking murder me in 5 seconds.
He's like, where's your wine? This wine fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Get out of here, mongrel. Zashu.
I'd be like, no, Gilgamesh, they call it Dark Souls. You gotta play, bro. I'll go fight later. Just waste him playing video games.
I would make it like... I would make it 2 days into this war. I would make it 2 days into this war, and then I would probably get like poisoned by Kiritsugu.
You'd
I
have
have no fucking clue what's going on.
You'd have some.
Yep.
You would have some jerk off podcasters be like, "I hated this guy. He didn't have an arc. He's a wizard."
Yeah.
He just drank his tea and then he fucking died. What a fucking loser. Didn't he realize his tea was purple?
How far back in time do you have to go to pick a legend? Like, is there anything from like the 1800s or the 1700s or?
I mean, Gilgamesh is literally from like one of the oldest legends.
I mean,
period.
like, how new can they be?
How new can they be?
Yeah.
They can be very new, believe it or not.
All right. I could choose like Super Mario.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, that would be it. That would make things very interesting.
I mean, I don't know about the president of summoning a video game character.
Yahoo!
I don't think the creators took that into consideration.
I would want the Charles Martinet Mario, not the Chris Pratt Mario. Chris Pratt Mario, he's cowardly.
Wait, he would have to be the writer class, right? He's writing Yoshi.
There's no plumber class, I guess.
There's no plumber class. The only other exception, I guess he could be caster because he'd shoot fireballs.
Yeah, he could be caster. It's like that's fun.
Silly.
That's fun. How about like Pepe? I could like from the memes. You could just have Pepe as your legend.
What are you talking about?
You could have like a soy check.
How would that even work?
I don't know. What class is he? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is though, right? Like you can summon someone that isn't real. So in Fate Stay Night, one of the servants that's summoned is a legend that like historians actually kind of like contest, like this person may or may not have actually existed. But within the canon of Fate Stay Night, they went with this person never actually existed.
Oh, okay.
What if I summon Dr. Manhattan?
Ooh.
You'd probably win. You'd probably super win.
No, he. What if he summoned him, but he summoned him in like the Saber class? Dr. Manhattan doesn't have any sword fighting powers. Could he still use all of his reality manipulation?
I don't know if... I guess... I don't think he could be summoned as Saber though, because there's no like swords associated with his character.
Wait a minute. I don't think you could summon him in anything. He doesn't have magic powers. He has science powers.
I think by technicality he would probably be a caster.
Oh no, he'd be a berserker probably, because he's like irrelevance to the condition of mankind.
Oh god, imagine Dr. Manhattan that lost his mind and just like can't control himself and just fucking just like destroys everything. It would be the end of the world.
Yeah. They blamed him for when they rebooted the DC Comics universe. They were like, it was Dr. Manhattan. He rebooted our universe. It's like in canon. It's like, man, that's such bullshit. Like you, just bad editorial decisions by the Jeff Johns and the gang over at DC, and it's like it was actually Dr. Manhattan's fault. Don't be bringing him into this. You did this.
But okay, you did ask like, okay, who carries over? So I'm trying to remember. So obviously Kotomine, Gilgamesh, Rin, and Sakura. Obviously the little boy that survived, Shiro, at the very end.
You did a video on him.
Yes, I did. So Kiritsugu obviously doesn't survive, but the events of Fate Zero are like referenced in Fate Stay Night.
Is he in flashbacks or anything?
No, you don't see any flashbacks. But Shiro does talk about Kiritsugu and how he was raised by him. Saber comes back.
Do they keep their memories?
Saber remembers, yes.
All right.
The old man, Zoken, that put the bugs in Karya, he comes back specifically in like the last route, in the Heaven's Feel route. He doesn't show up in the other routes much.
Oh. Does he have bug powers again?
Yeah, he still has bug powers.
That's interesting.
That's his house, right? It's like one of the 3 houses.
Yes. Oh, and Kiritsugu's daughter, Ilya, she also comes back.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's all of them. I think that's all
Alright.
the major players that return. So most of the servants are different.
Gilgamesh never comes back? Not Gilgamesh, sorry. No, Ryder.
No, it's a different writer. So all the except for Saber, all the other servants are different. Because again, Gilgamesh isn't summoned again as Archer. He's just around. So they're all different.
But it sounded because Gilgamesh made him the offer to come back and drink some wine with him when he defeated him. So it felt like maybe they could come back actually, even if they get defeated and killed.
Well, he doesn't. I mean, not in Fate Stay Night, at least. Maybe there's some like side material I'm unaware of that Ryder makes a return.
Do you think there's probably some alternate universe versions where it's like, let's explore this guy again?
I mean, they could if they wanted to, because the way that the visual novel works, there's literally either 30 or 40 bad endings where the main character dies horribly, and they're all canon.
Oh.
They're all considered different timelines where the main character just royally fucks up and makes the wrong decision and dies. So speaking of Ilya, actually, I think this is like the first bad ending that you can get. Shiro can decide, nah, I don't want to be a part of the Holy Grail War, period. So as he's walking back home, he bumps into Ilya, and her servant is Berserker. And she fucking destroys the shit out of him to the point where there's nothing left of him except his head. She casts a spell on his head to keep him self-aware, and she keeps it as a souvenir. And he's just like in this like stasis of like constantly aware of his existence as a severed head.
That's what you get for not playing the game, dumbass.
And that's like the first bad ending that you get. And it's canon. It happened.
I wonder, could I summon... Okay, back to the legend talk for 1 minute.
Sure.
Could I get, like, Bouken as my legend?
Oh.
I don't think
good
so.
Good choice, sir.
I don't think so.
And would he get, like, magic powers? Because, like, Alexander the Great didn't have any of those magic powers in life. So presumably, Bouken, you would get some powers that reflect your personality.
I don't think Bouken would ever be summoned. And if he did, I wouldn't be summoned either. It's not you. Like, you need to have been a person of some renown.
What if I die tomorrow and Aesir just misses me?
Yeah, what if I really miss him? What if he dies tomorrow and then the week after his channel just blows up and he becomes super famous?
Okay, maybe that might actually work.
And
I don't know.
Then I could use the command seal to just have Bouken edit a bunch of videos for me. Or do I only get a few command seals?
You only get 3.
I only get 3.
And when you use up the third one, you're no longer his master.
I would have him edit 2 videos.
So you really only have you really only have 2 seals, and the last one is like your last ditch effort to do whatever you want before you lose control of them.
Can he then just be like, hey, you sucked as the master, I'm gonna kill you? Wow.
So that actually happens in Fate Stay Night.
Ah, that's interesting.
So one of the servants was like, wow, this guy fucking sucks. I'd rather kill him and just like go, and see what I can do without mana.
Oh yeah, also he'd have to draw mana from me. I don't think I'd have good mana. I don't eat very healthy these days. I eat like a lot of ground beef.
So there are other ways of getting mana.
Oh, okay.
But believe it or not, one of them is sex.
Ooh, hey. That doesn't help me.
So I mean, if you summon like a pretty like female servant, you know,
Wait.
that is a perfectly valid way of giving them mana.
Huh.
And in fact, there is like a very sleazy character in Stay Night who's like, ugh, this servant I summoned sucks. She's only useful as a woman.
Oh. Oh. In 2025, Daniel, I don't think this could fly.
Well, the visual came out in like 2004.
Oh, that's okay then. No, I think that's interesting that they actually like explored the different sort of ramifications of interfacing with this system.
The thing with Fate Stay Night though that is different compared to Fate Zero's. Fate Zero takes like a more like a bird's eye view of the whole thing, but Fate Stay Night you're in the perspective of the main character the entire time. There are times where the visual will go like, okay, meanwhile, this was happening. So there are times where it breaks his perspective to show you something else that's going on. So it's not like exclusively only in his head. But I do think that is an interesting thing about Stay Night is, you know, you're just as in the dark about what's going on as the main character is. So it's a different perspective that I think works in its own way.
Did they ever do one where, and like I felt like they were trying to set this up in this one, but in hindsight, like, no, this was always about Kiritsugu and Kotomine. Did they ever do one where it's like, here are the 7 contenders, and any one of them could be the winner, and you don't know? And they all have like really interesting dynamics with each other.
So I think that's what they might have been trying to do with one of the spin-offs, Fate Apocrypha, but I never watched it.
All right.
Like I said, Fate Stay Night is very much focused on like the protagonist Shiro. So like obviously like he's not gonna lose.
No.
Otherwise, you know, what fucking if he died like halfway through, like what fucking story would you have?
Saper pulling out 2 wins in a row.
2 dubs.
2 dubs. Summoned twice, won twice.
I really loved Saber's character, and rewatching this show like reminded me of like how much I liked her, because one of the things that's really interesting, as something that Fate Zero sets up really well for Fate Stay Night, is that in Fate Stay Night she already starts with the mindset of she wants to change who becomes the king, and it's interesting that in Fate Zero, in the beginning, what she wants to do is just go back and fix things herself. But then it's because of writer's influence in particular, and what happened with Lancelot, that got it into her head that she so royally fucked up that she now believes, oh, I'm not worthy. I'm going to change the procession entirely. It can't be me. I'm so unworthy. So that was like one of the things I really liked as it works as a prequel, you know, particularly for Saber's character in Stay Night, to like see how she got to that conclusion.
Well, that's interesting that they wrote the later part first.
Yeah.
You know, and they had to come up with this whole storyline afterwards.
Is this story better than Fate Stay Night?
They're different.
They're
just different. Like it's kind of hard to compare, right? It's a visual novel versus an anime. Like a visual novel that's like 3 different stories. It's a totally different experience. But that is one of the reasons why I feel like watching the next anime, Unlimited Blade Works by Ufotable, is kind of it's kind of a weird way of going about it, just because Unlimited Blade Works was never meant to be like a direct sequel to Fate Zero. So it's just weird, and it doesn't, like, you're gonna just be naturally disappointed because the atmosphere is different, the tone is different, and characters that you cared about in Fate Zero and you wanted to see like certain resolutions for them get resolved in different story routes in the visual novel. So I would say like Fate Zero acts as a better prequel to the visual novel itself, but not necessarily like the anime adaptations. Before we start talking about the ending though, can I talk real quick about like this show's like tone and atmosphere, just because I
Yes.
can't think of another show that looks and feels like this one. I guess aside from like, obviously in terms of like visuals, Ufotable has a distinct style, but I just mean like in terms of its tone and its atmosphere, I can't think of other shows that are like this, that had this kind of gritty, sort of like hard edge to it, mixed with the more fantastical elements. Like, I don't know, there's just something about this show that like, if I want this like very, very specific feel, there's nothing else that really scratches that itch like this one does. What do you guys think?
I'm trying to think of other examples, but nothing necessarily comes to mind.
Like I really love like the subterfuge in this show, right? Like you have those moments where particularly with Maya's character, like and Kotomine's character, whenever like they have like only like 2 fight scenes and like they feel like so brutal. Like you have that moment where Kotomine like grabs Iris Feel and stabs her in the stomach. Like there's so many moments in this show that feel like genuinely like horrific, and there's such a grit to it, and yet it's so deftly able to also have like moments, obviously because they spread them apart, but like then you have like these really wonderful moments with like Waver and Ryder where they're like palling around. Like it's really remarkable, I would say, like the way that this show like handles its tone. There's never really like any moments of like intense whiplash where you're just like, oh my god, this show is like all of a sudden slapstick or that, because that's one of the issues that we discussed with like FMA 2003, where like the tonal whiplash at times was like pretty jarring. And I feel like Fate Zero doesn't suffer from that. It does a much better job of like separating those like disparate elements and keeping them more isolated from each other.
Also, the comedy here, when it came, it was just like from the interactions of the characters. It wasn't just like, weird, off to the side anime jokes. Now he has a goofy face. I think Waver had a goofy face once while Alexander was like holding him. I think that might have been just it.
Dude, there's such a good little joke where like after Ryder and Waver finished fighting with Saber used Excalibur to like destroy part of the road and blew up his chariot in particular, and they were like hanging on a tree branch. And Waver's like, Ryder, how do we get back home? Or how do we get back to town? He's like, we gotta walk. He's like, I guess you're right. And then for like a split second, you see Saber on her motorcycle. So
I feel like Waver and Ryder are the only characters that actually have humor in their story. Everybody else is very serious.
I think that works. I feel like if they weren't in the show would be too bleak.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
They're the heart of the show.
One thing that I've always heard about this show that I've never really agreed with is people say like it's a very nihilistic show. And I don't agree with that. I feel like, sure, there's nihilistic characters. Even someone like Kotomine is looking for meaning in his life. Granted, it's a fucked up meaning that he finds, but like he there is still this pursuit of like finding meaning in life. And Waver's whole character arc is him realizing that there's more to his life than what's like beyond the Holy Grail War. By the end of the show, like, because throughout he's like, oh, I don't care if I throw my life away. At least I died, doing something that I feel like I can be proud of. And Ryder, was like telling Waver, like, dude, you can't think that way. You have so much more to live for. So I feel like a big part of the show's message is actually through Waver, where no, nihilism is not the point. The point, like, regardless of whether you feel like life has an intrinsic meaning to it or a meaning that you've prescribed to it yourself, the point is that it is worth living. There is meaning in your lived experience, and you shouldn't throw away your life arbitrarily. That's one of the messages that's conveyed through the old man that figures out that Waver's not actually his grandson. And he's telling him, like, I've lived a long time and I've realized that there's really not a lot that's actually worth throwing away your life for. There's so much in life that's worth living for. So just wanted to throw that out there because it's just like a common talking point to say it's like a nihilistic show. And I don't agree with that.
That old man took it really well when he figured out that Raver had been pretending to be his grandson.
Yeah, he did. Mostly because it made his wife happy.
Yeah, happy wife, happy life.
The fact that this is not a nihilistic show actually brings me to the ending.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if I understood it correctly. So
Okay,
let me try to explain the ending as I understood it. Kiritsugu forced Saber to destroy the Grail, right?
yes.
And then some kind of weird dream happened?
No, you got that mixed up.
Yeah?
He got sucked into the Grail first because he was chosen as the winner.
He was, yes.
He was chosen as the winner. And then that's when the weird dream happens. And then afterwards is when he tells Saber to destroy the Grail because Kiritsugu realizes that the Grail is not going to grant his wish the way that he thought it was going to.
Oh, I did mix that up then. Okay, because that whole vision of the Grail showing... It's like the Grail was like taking his ideology?
Yes.
Of like sort of the... I don't know what it is. It's like utilitarianism. It's like maximize the biggest amount of happiness for the biggest amount of people, sort of?
It's basically the lever problem, right? Like
exactly.
You have like... Yeah, you have like 3 people and you have one person. Well, sorry, that one person's got to get run over.
But isn't the point of the lever like the trolley problem that you shouldn't approach it like that? Which I guess I find it annoying that the trolley problem became a meme because it really reminded me of the trolley problem and I was trying to take it seriously. Yeah, it is basically like his ideal of you can kill some people to maximize the happiness of a big amount of people, and it's like playing through that thing to a point where basically everybody is dead and he's just living with his family, because that's like in the Holy Grail was mined the logical conclusion of what he believes in, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then he chooses to not have that happen, and that basically but then suddenly everything gets destroyed.
Yes, the reason why everything gets destroyed is because Kiritsugu rejected it. But Kotomine was also sucked into the Grail, and I think was chosen as the winner at that point because Kiritsugu rejected it. Kotomine simply wished for what he wanted to understand, what is in the content of his heart, what gives him joy. He doesn't understand that, so he wanted the Grail to show him, and the Grail showed him. It was the carnage, it was the destruction, it was the devastation, the suffering of others.
Okay.
Which I think is interesting.
But it only blew up in a small area. So like it was a sort of big area, but it didn't blow up the whole world, basically.
No, it didn't. It didn't blow up the whole world. It blew up like the surrounding area. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And that mind fucks Kiritsugu, who's like not sure that he believes in his ideology anymore, and then he just latches onto saving this one random kid because then he's like, I did something right.
Basically, yes.
Yeah. Okay, then I guess I did understand it. It gets very esoteric all of a sudden, I feel like.
I feel like it's interesting how the Grail has the ability to do anything, but it doesn't know how to do it. You have to know how, like when it's like, I want to create a world where everyone can be happy. The Grail doesn't just do it. It's like, okay, explain to me, the Grail, how I do this. And he's like, no, I can't do that. I need you to do that.
Yeah, basically. And Kiritsugu's like, what kind of a fucking miracle is this? And the Grail's like, it is a miracle because I can take your way of thinking and I can multiply it 1,000 times over, far beyond your capabilities. How is that not a miracle? And Kiritsugu's like, fuck this. That's not what I wanted.
Why did the Grail curse him then? Is it just because he rejected it?
Yes. Because the Grail had chosen him as the winner. So the fact that Kiritsugu rejected it was like, well, fuck you then. I'm going to curse you. Like, how
Shitty
dare
Grail.
how dare you
Grail
reject
getting
me?
all sassy.
Yeah, the Grail is getting sassy, yeah.
What if I had wished for the Grail to be in infinite pain for eternity? Would it have to do it?
I guess it would. I guess it would.
Uh,
I never thought about that, but sure, I guess, why not?
that's
Does
the
the
old.
Grail come, like, is the Grail a character in later stuff? Or, like, does it get any more development? Or is it just
Sort
a
of.
thing?
Sort of. It does get more, yeah, it does get more development, yes. Particularly in Heaven's Feel, which is like the final route of the visual novel.
Okay.
So here's the fucked up thing, right? I know normally when people are like, Daniel, I want to get into Fate. How do I do that? I tell them, well, you have two options, really. You have the easier option and the much harder option. You can start with the Fate Zero anime. And I think that's I think it's the most accessible, most high quality, like, Fate thing there is, right? And it's like, okay, where do I go from there? You could read the visual novel. And most people are like, I don't want to read a visual novel. And then I tell them, okay, you're done.
How do I get into this visual novel series? You gotta you can just read it, bro. No, I will not.
It's like that
Yeah,
meme where the
so-
guy suddenly gets, like, angry eyebrows, because he made the obvious suggestion. It's like, no.
I would actually say to people who are more serious and they're visual novel fans or something, I would say start with the visual novel and then maybe go back and watch Fate Zero afterwards, But like for most people, again, it's like a hard ass to be like, here, read a visual novel. And most people just don't like reading them, which is fair. But okay, that's it. You're done. Because again, if you watch Fate Zero and then you go into Unlimited Blade Works, I think Unlimited Blade Works probably works. It works better as its own show. It's pretty decent. Like, I have a lot of issues with it as an adaptation, but separating myself from that, I can acknowledge it as like, okay, as its own show, it's fine. But as a follow-up to Fate Zero, it's very disappointing. I think the Heaven's Feel movies are probably better, but I only saw the first one, so I can't super confirm that. So, and that's always been kind of like the struggle. Now, granted, reading the visual novel at the very least nowadays is much easier because it was remastered recently. So if you are like, hey, I do want to read the visual novel. All right, cool. You can download it on Steam. You can download it on your Nintendo Switch. I think it might also be on PSN. So at the very least, if you like visual novels and you are interested, it's available. It's pretty easily available. But that's just not something a lot of people want to do.
Yeah. I mean, like, how do I get into World of Warcraft? I'm not going to play the game. How do I get into it? It's like, no.
Yeah, it's kind of yeah.
This is
kind of like what
this is the medium.
what it is. And I think that sucks because like with Fate Zero, right? Like the ending, it's clearly leading into something else. If you treat Fate Zero as like the only thing you watch, then I'm sure for some people they're like, oh, I'm fine with how it ended. And that's cool. But like other people who want to see what happens next, it's a little more complicated. So I don't know how you guys felt.
I'm fine with it. I mean, I honestly have zero interest in anything else Fate, but I am fine with this end because honestly, like most of the characters are dead. Everybody that I'm invested in is not going to show up again. So
I mean, it is true. A lot of characters get fucking killed by the end.
Yeah.
So, and you didn't even realize that Kiritsugu died, and yeah, he's fucking dead too. So
yeah,
They tried to trick me into watching Fate Stay Night with Kiritsugu living, and it's like, no.
it is unfortunate because, especially after watching Fate Zero, I'm like, I wish they could have done more with him in Fate Stay Night. That would have been cool, but what can you do? And that's the thing, right? Like, because Fate Stay Night is mostly new characters. So, to be clear, I love the visual novel. I think it's great. But again, I don't expect everyone to want to read that. And if you're satisfied with Fate Zero as it ended, cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else about the ending that you wanted to discuss?
I just wanted to. I guess I did understand it. I just wanted to clear it up because it was. I felt it. It seemed a bit weird.
It does get a little weird, but I still like it. I like how the Grail challenges Kiritsugu on his philosophy and shows him that the ultimate endpoint to his philosophy is everyone is dead. It's literally just you and your family.
Yeah, and I mean they set that all up with a 2-episode origin story of himself. Those were cool.
So I don't think the show itself clarifies this, but like the woman that acted as his kind of surrogate mother, she's like half succubus. Just like an added detail for her character. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what to say.
His origin story felt kind of like, and you kind of touched on this with like, there's other things going on in this universe with like the church just mowing down vampires and such. It's like his origin story felt like, is this the same show? Like this is different. This is something else. But yeah.
So actually with his backstory, that reminds me. So like I remember some people complaining that like that Kiritsugu, they were like, oh, it doesn't make sense that he would be able to kill his dad like that. And I feel like that's a pretty fundamental misunderstanding of what his character went through in that episode. The problem is that Shirley did not realize that Kiritsugu's dad was doing experiments on vampires. So she stole like one of his test subjects or whatever, turned herself into a vampire. And Kiritsugu, he could not kill her, right? Like in the moment, like he couldn't do it because he was in love with her, obviously. As much as a little kid can be in love, but whatever. Not the point. The point is like he felt very strongly for her and he couldn't do it. Which led to the rest of the fucking village becoming infested, right? Like Shirley went and bit someone else, which, led to like the entire village being overrun with vampires.
Hey, that's kind of like the trolley problem. Kill her or lose the village.
Yes, exactly.
And it's like, oh, this is the development of your morality.
When he failed to do that, when he saw the ramifications of his non-action, he thought that his dad was also responsible for what happened. And he felt that his dad's experiments were dangerous and that if he left his dad to his own devices, that his dad could do this in other places. Now, I don't think his dad would have done that because his dad very clearly is a very orthodox mage. That's not what he was going to do. But Kiritsugu is like too young. He doesn't understand that. So that's why he kills his dad. It is to make up for the mistake of not killing Shirley earlier. And that's, again, what establishes his philosophy and his worldview of killing the few to save the many. And I think that also is another thing I find interesting about the show is the way that they portray mages. Because Tokiomi and Kenneth and Kiritsugu's dad, they kind of act like sociopaths.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like Tokiomi gave up his daughter to a different family because he didn't want to put a limit on their potential as mages. And he was like, oh, I was so happy that like Sakura could go to another family and she could develop her magic skills somewhere else. And like for any normal person, you're like, dude, that's your daughter. What the fuck? But mages have like a totally different perspective, right? Like they don't look at things like that.
They see the big picture. Well,
you say that jokingly, but like
that's how they see it.
Tokiomi, like most mages, they're searching for the root. They see themselves as one small step to getting to the root. So they're content with doing what they can during their lives and progressing their own family line so that one day their family can eventually reach the root. Because that is the ultimate goal. So when you jokingly say that, but that's literally what it is.
All right then. This show reminded me of when we watched Code Geass. And I'm shocked to see that you guys love this show, but you didn't love Code Geass.
Excuse me?
Well, hold on. I did some work here. Both shows feature long battle scenes separated with characters talking about their motivations and philosophies. explicitly
Oh my
told
God, this is
rather
the
than inferred.
flimsiest-
There's more. There's more. I have a lot
so
of
flimsy.
I have a lot of these flimsy connections, and together they weave into a strong thread, like into a strong rope connecting these two series.
Doubt.jpg.
They have a magic. They have a magic system whose magic system. Their legend, hero summoning, and Gia's powers, whose ramifications on the larger world aren't explored, so they can focus on the genre they're actually set in. Right? Yeah. Every character periodically will say something and then say, however, and then say something else. So I noticed that one.
Oh my God! What? You can't be serious with this shit.
So far, everything you mentioned also applies to X. Just saying.
This applies to like fucking anything.
I feel like it applies especially though to Code Geass. I think you have to admit that.
No, it does not.
It also. Look, I'm not saying
this also applies to Elfen Lied. Oh, this also applies to Madoka Magica. Oh, this also applies to Watchmen. Like, what are you saying?
people in Madoka Magica didn't say however. That's a very Code Geass thing to do.
Watchmen didn't have elongated fight scenes.
I wouldn't be surprised if
Shut
Fate
up.
Zero was inspired by Code Zero.
Did you call it Code Zero?
I wouldn't be
What a
surprised.
Freudian slip! What a Freudian slip!
I wouldn't be surprised if Fate Zero hadn't been inspired by Code Geass. Just a little bit.
Dude, stop. Stop.
The viewers will agree.
No.
No? I felt I'd made a really strong case. You guys are making me doubt the case I was making. This is interesting. This looked much
will
more.
let us know.
This looked so much better in my notes. I have in my notes. I have both of you agreeing with me. It's interesting.
The light novels were written the same year that Code Geass came out, so the chances of them like Fate Zero copying are actually pretty slim.
No, well, Code Geass came out, so somebody had to write Code Geass before it came out. And they probably gave the guy the early script so he could, base his work on it.
Yeah, I assume a lot of people in the industry know each other.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
It only
the
makes sense
question.
that this was based on Code Geass. I think we're finding out.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, look, this is only
this is the worst podcast. This guy, you people are coming in here, taking one of my favorite anime, comparing it to one of my most hated anime.
It's not even because of the content, just because of what it represents in our friendship over the years. All right then. Do we have
I can't believe you guys.
Do we have another part to this where we talk about anything else, or do you want to give your recommendation, Bouken, or?
I don't think we have another part.
No, we
done?
stopped doing that.
Yeah.
I suggested before we recorded, I'm like, oh, do you guys want to talk about what you've been doing? And Bouken was like, no.
That's true. That did happen. Somebody had headset issues, so we had to pat for a while.
Yeah.
No.
We've already talked for 2 hours.
That's
What
true.
do you want?
What do you want, viewers, audience? What do you want? Is it not enough for you?
Are you not entertained?
God. So yeah, what's life?
Before we do that, do we have any a conclusion about the show?
I liked it. I think that I will say I think I would like it more if I'd gotten into it when I was younger. If I'd been watching this closer to when it actually released, I think I would have loved it a lot more.
Back in 2011?
Yeah, I would have been a teenager. Well, yeah, late teen back then. So that would have been a good time to get into it. It's like Trigun. I tried watching Trigun and I was like, oh yeah, I get it.
Trigun's a classic.
Yeah, but I think I would have enjoyed it more if I'd started watching it when I was younger.
I guess. Bouken, final words?
I would say that this discussion maybe made me appreciate the the lore a bit more, or like the rules of the world.
Yeah,
Maybe there's more to it than I understood from just this show.
I can see that.
Yeah, that was widened my perspective on it a bit more.
Cool. I'm glad I could do that. So like I said before, this is like my 5th time watching it, and I don't know. I guess maybe this show was made specifically to like my tastes, because like I just fucking love this show like so much. And every time I've watched it, I've just appreciated it more and more. Even though it's been a while since I've seen it, like watching it again for this, I was just like, man, this show's so fucking good. Like I was just like so pumped watching. I was just like, this show's just it's just a fucking banger. Like to me, this is like top 5 favorite anime. I wholeheartedly love it. And maybe it's just because it like appeals so specifically to me, but I feel like it goes beyond that. Like I feel like on a pure shallow level, like it works. Like it looks great, it sounds great, the fight scenes are great, it's got a great sense of atmosphere. But I feel like on a more substantive level as well, I mean, all the characters are super engaging. You know, the story is interesting. I think there's a lot of thematic depth to it. Like I think all the characters have like really interesting ideologies, and the show goes about like deconstructing their points of view in interesting ways. Like, and I love the use of subtext in the show. Like I really enjoy how the characters engage with each other and how it feeds into the themes. I really enjoyed the chivalry between like Saber and Ryder and Lancer, and how that also is something that like the show looks more deeply at, and you know, through characters like Kiritsugu. Like, and it's just a fucking great show. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. And I was happy to watch it again. I honestly wouldn't even be mad to watch it a 6th time. Like, I like it that much. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a weirdo, but it's one of my favorites. It remains one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I would recommend this to probably most people, because it is like clearly of high quality, and it's also short enough, and it works on its own for the most part. So it's just a good, you know, like individual show one could watch.
It doesn't drag. There's no, like, you talked about how there's like a filler episode with a little girl, and it's like, even that is like, this tells a coherent story in and of itself. It's like no point where I'm like, get to the next freaking episode already.
Yeah, every episode, I feel like even the first half, which I know you were a little less hot on, but like I feel like even that first season,
it's slower, but it's not slow.
It feels like something's always happening, right? Like some characters doing something like sneaky or underhanded, or like you're learning something new about the servants. You're learning something new about how the world works. And it's all interesting, right? Like, I love when the characters are dreaming about their servants, right? Like, Kayneth has a dream about Diarmid, and he learns about how, like, the mole under his cheek is a charm that, without him realizing it, seduced his lord's mistress, and he ended up, like, running away with her, but it still ended poorly for him because he thought that he had been forgiven when he wasn't. There's so much detail, and some of the characters feel so fleshed out. Okay, maybe not Ryunosuke, but like a lot of the characters do feel like there's so much detail to them and so much care put into them, and like they all have their place in the show. Anyways, Bouken, what's your recommendation? What are we doing?
Okay, I will recommend for the next time that we watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Oh shit! Okay, how many seasons is that?
It's only 7 seasons. It's a bit long, but you know.
What's 7 seasons?
These are like,
I feel like I usually recommend like the shorter stuff.
This is 176 episodes, and each episode is like 40 minutes.
No,
we can't do this.
Nah, I think we can do.
This is like 17.
It's really good, actually.
This is like 17 times longer than Fate Zero.
I was getting like, oh man, Twin Peaks. Seasons 1 and 2 are pretty long, and fucking here Bouken is like 7 seasons. Can we just do the first season? Like,
We can do the first season. We could do. We can Bogan. We cannot do 176 episodes of television.
176 40-minute long episodes.
Okay,
Serious?
I'm kidding. We're doing Darling in the Franxx.
Darling in the Franxx.
Wait. Oh my God! Wait, Darling.
Oh no! Wait, I remember what this is.
Wait, no! I take it back. I take it back. Let's do Star Trek. I take it back. Let's do Star Trek.
24 episodes, damn.
Okay, I was kidding again. Like, okay, for real this time, we're doing Pirates of the Caribbean.
Think this out twice. Okay, wait. What's your real recommendation?
My real recommendation is the 5 Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
I could do that. I love the first 3.
Oh man, no.
Yeah.
What do you mean no?
No. I don't want to watch that trash.
Trash? The fuck are you talking about?
We're watching it now. Bogan, I'm on your side. We're watching this.
Yeah.
He has to learn.
It's like 5 fucking movies.
I don't want to watch this trash.
It's trash. Like, what are you talking about? It's like quality. Well, not all of it, but the first movie is legitimately like one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's like in my top, easily in my top 20.
It's the only one people like.
No,
but that's what makes it interesting.
See, this is a little trick that people have played over the years. Pirates of the Caribbean 2 is the best one. That's the best one. But yes, it is.
I want to have this discussion. I legitimately want to. I looked it up because I talked about it before on the podcast. And because I had watched all of them. But I only talked about it for like 10 minutes. And Aesir wasn't even on the episode. We did that episode with Red Angel. So I want to have this discussion for real. It's really interesting to me.
Didn't Johnny Depp by the last movie stop reading the script and he had some feed lines into him in his fucking earpiece?
That's what Aesir said.
Yes,
in the channel before. Yes,
I think it was when he was spending like $50,000 a week on expensive wine and going through a divorce with Amber Heard and like why would you film a movie under these conditions? Whose idea was this? But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We can do Pirates of the Caribbean. I think that'll be good. Daniel's opinion will change. He will watch the first one and he'll be like, "Now hold on, this is really good." He'll watch the second one and he'll be like, "It's all peak. He'll watch the third one and he'll be like, "Not as good. You know, they're dipping." And then he'll watch the fourth one and he'll be like, "Oof, this is getting rough."
How many of them have you seen, Daniel?
I've seen all of them. Oh, me. No,
Daniel.
I saw the first 3.
Okay.
And I remember liking the first 2 and then thinking the third one was weird.
Third one is weird.
I saw them back in high school when they released. So actually the first one may have been when I was in middle school.
It's 2003, I think.
Yeah, I was definitely in middle school.
Yeah. No, we're doing this. I think these movies have a lot to talk about.
All right. I agree. I think there's a lot of interesting themes and stuff that going on in those movies. Also, gives me an excuse to rewatch the behind the scenes. This is that era, Daniel, of like Lord of the Rings behind the scenes making of. The Pirates of the Caribbean had that in spades.
You can't force me to watch that.
You don't have to watch that. I'm gonna watch that.
Where can I watch that?
On the DVD, Bogan, like I did. Well. It's probably on YouTube. At least some of it.
The movies are on Disney Plus, right?
Oh yeah.
Probably, yeah.
All of them? Okay. All right.
I've never heard you so tired about a suggestion for anything. This is quality cinema.
Yeah, like this is
some of it.
This is weird. It's a weird reaction, honestly.
You're like, I feel like you were more prepared to watch Darling in the Franxx. Frankly,
yeah, I was actually.
Well, we can do Darling in the Franxx if you want.
No. This Pirates of the Caribbean is good.
Can we do Darling in the Franxx instead?
No, the bit has gone on too long. We cannot re-pivot.
Okay. All right. I'll just have to slap myself in the face a little bit, nut up, and just sit through some pirates.
What the fuck is your problem? Seriously.
It's just not. It's not my vibe.
I also love the audacity of Bouken being like, we're gonna watch 40,000 minutes of television. We're gonna watch 700 hours of television.
What do you mean that?
I would have been okay with watching like the first like season or two of Dead Space 9. I think that I've been meaning to watch that show.
I know.
So like
it's
I
a
actually
great
would
show.
have been okay with.
But then
I would have been okay with that.
You'll watch that on your own time then. Bouken doesn't need to waste his recommendation.
Legitimately, I was between this and I would actually like maybe compile like 25 episodes of Star Trek's TNG. Like selected episodes, so we don't have to watch all, but you guys can get a good understanding of what Star Trek is. Because I think you need to watch some Star Trek before you can watch Deep Space Nine, really, to understand it.
I know Star Trek.
Okay, I feel like whenever I bring up Star Trek, nobody talks to me about it.
You know Star Trek, and soon you'll know Pirates of the Caribbean.
I saw like the first couple of seasons of the original like fucking 1960s Star Trek. I don't know. I saw The Wrath of Khan. I saw The Search for Spock. I saw what is it? The Voyage Home, the fourth one. I saw Star Trek Generations. That movie sucked. I also saw the more recent ones. Those sucked.
Those are terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, the Into Darkness. It's just a shittier version of Wrath of Khan. They just did Wrath of Khan again, but bad.
Anyway, I'll do that next time.
I was actually thinking for one of these recommendations that we could watch the first season of The Sopranos. And I was thinking, let's just do season 1 because like having you guys watch 6 seasons, would be too much.
I have watched the entirety of The Sopranos.
Yeah, I know you have, but I know Acer hasn't.
I have watched the entirety of the first episode of The Sopranos. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Oh, you saw the pilot.
I saw the pilot.
It's a good pilot.
I don't remember it. It's been a while. He was at a therapy session. Guys, what are we doing? We need to wrap this up.
Quit this. Cut all of this out.
All right. I'm not cutting any of this out. This is gold.
Quality entertainment.
This is primo. This is what the fans want. This is what they came for. This is what they're paying us the big bucks for.
The big bucks.
The biggest of bucks. I can barely get them out the door.
Okay, cool. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks
all
for
right,
listening.
goodbye. This has been the Essays and Espresso podcast. I'm your host, Daniel, with
me,
Bouken,
Acer,
and Acer.
Me,
and
Acer.
Yeah, you two.
Bye.
Bouken and Acer.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.